Of the three myths that the Devi Mahatmya associates with the goddess, that of her encounter with the Mahisha is of greatest moment in her ongoing identity, for her designation as Mahishasura Mardini is pervasive of the later Indian religious tradition. When the Devi Mahatmya employs the Mahisha myth, there is only a single discursive account in the epics as precedent. That one epic precedent is the Mahabharata's initial account of the figure of Skandha, and it is to Skandha that the destruction of Mahishasura is originally ascribed. But elsewhere in the Mahabharata, in the Durgastava, the slayer of Mahishasura is none other than the goddess, while on another occasion it is Shiva who is hymned with such a title. Turning to iconographic material for assistance in tracing the goddess's involvement with Mahisha, we may note that the prevailing opinion for years has been that extant Mahishasura Mardini images can hardly be dated before the Gupta period, and some miniature stone figurines unearthed at Bhita are a few of the earliest summary representations of this aspect of the goddess. However, subsequent evidences have questioned this view. The first is occasioned by the discovery of a terracotta plaque of Mahishasura Murdini at Nagar, Rajasthan, which appears to belong to the beginning of the 1st century AD or the middle of the 1st century BC. The second questioning of tradition stems from 6 statues of the Kushana age preserved in the Mathura Museum, which appear to contain some other early representation of the Mahishasura Mardini form. A more balanced view seems to be the earlier Mahishasura Mardini figures seem to have had their inspiration from some other source than the Markandeya Purana, as the Devi's leonine mount is absent from some of the earliest images. In iconography, as in mythology, it seems unlikely that the tradition has known a univocal development. Be that as it may, the Mahisha figure as depicted in the Devi Mahatmya seems to have a significant symbolic meaning.
Chandi, the gory battles between the Divine Mother and the demons. There's Indra, the king of the gods. Indra is the mind that we usually have and we usually live with, that hopefully has some kind of sense of larger picture. But Indra is the king of the gods and is doing a lot of enjoying pleasures in heaven, and he forgets. He gets totally, now how doesn't this sounds pretty familiar, huh? Totally involved in watching TV and forgets there's a whole other world that he is king of. In other words, his mind, our mind, the Indra in our mind is forgetting, and now we're going for the pleasure ride. We've forgotten. And while Indra is involved in all those kind of nice little things online, on your cell phone, Mahisha, the demon, who's got a grudge and is angry, organizes the lower worlds. In other words, the unconscious worlds that we're not paying attention to. And Mahisha, he's out to get Indra for other reasons that are told. And he transforms himself through tapasya, through spiritual austerities. He gets a boon that he can be a shape changer. So these lower kinds of demonic tendencies can jump from one shape to another and fool people, maybe thinking they're something than they otherwise are. So Indra is playing something on his computer, and Mahisha takes over the lower world. And then, without realizing that Mahisha got so strong, Mahisha kicks him out of his position, and he, Mahisha, becomes the Indra. Do you know what that means? That now we don't have any kind of sense of discrimination or what's good or bad anymore. We're running on. And we can see Mahisha really well when we get angry. right? Anger is a powerful force, and it takes over the mind, and we don't care. You know, that whether we practice for spiritual practices for 30 years or not, it's out the window. Mahisha has pushed Indra off the throne. So what happens is that Mahisha takes over everything, and they have to go running to Shiva and Vishnu. Yeah. And say, you know, this Indra has taken over everything, and Shiva and Vishnu are angry, let's say. And from that force comes the power known as the Shakti, the Divine Mother. But they didn't create it. She emerged from them. Right? Sometimes they say the gods created the Shakti. But the understanding is no, this Shakti created the gods. This mother is the mother of the gods as well, the mother of everything. So that power emerges and takes shape, and then takes the other gods, you know, the many, many, many gods give their particular powers that actually are hers. She takes them back. And so what does this mean? Well, psychologically it means that if we focus on the divine, that power will be available to us, and we can overcome the fact that Indra just took over our mind. And if we make a habit of that, it's much more likely that we can Mahisha, we can shove Mahisha back out easily. So the powers of the Divine Mother, in other words, focusing on whatever our spiritual goal is, and understanding that we are that. We're not asking some other power to come and help us. This is our innate Shakti too, because we are her.
Madhukaitava vidvansi Vidhatri varade namaha Rupam dehi jayam dehi Yasho dehi disho jahi Mahishasura nir